Aloha, Helena here. Welcome to my channel, Ride, Pray, Love, where we are all about connecting with Source, the medicine of the horse, and beyond to help you rise to your full potential during these crazy times. And so I am here today, the day before Thanksgiving in the States here. So if you celebrate, I want to just take a moment and wish you a happy Thanksgiving and let you know that I am thankful for you. I'm thankful for you stopping by. I am thankful for you showing up and really being the best version of yourself you can be. And I can say that because the chances are, if you are tuning into these videos and my channel, then I have a sense, I have a feeling, because like attracts like, that you are a little bit like me in that way, and that you're always doing your best to really not only be your best self so that you can show up for others, whether it's family or work, relationships, your animals, kids, whatever it is that, is your world, right? All the different pieces and parts that are the primary, aspects of your world. I have a feeling that you are always just, doing the best that you can, and that you're also aware of the fact that as you work on yourself, as you expand your awareness, that there is that ripple effect that's happening to others. So I know this about you, and I want to take a moment and just say thank you for being you and showing up again as that amazing, magical you that you are, and showing up here and stopping by to my channel. So today I wanted to do, and I am really, I don't like to apologize, but the lighting is really bad and it's not great outside. And anyway, I'm doing the best I can with the lighting right now. So thank you for bearing with this in terms of the lighting. So today, what I am really being guided to talk about is some tips to help you get into the gratitude groove. And while I realize a lot of people may be talking about gratitude and Thanksgiving, and maybe it's something that you already do and have a practice for it, what I want to talk about is something that I don't hear anyone else talking about. And that is, what do you do when you're writing your gratitude list and you're writing it out and you don't really feel it? And I'm sharing this transparently because there was a time many moons ago when I first started the practice, when I had my spiritual awakening, when I started, doing meditations and affirmations and getting into the LOA and all of that, right? Everyone was always talking about having this gratitude practice, and I embraced it wholeheartedly. And yet, what I want to say is, looking back, because I'm in such a different place now and I have, evolved, looking back, there was a period when I first started out where doing it the way I was doing it, and I would either have it like as a nighttime journal practice or first thing in the morning. And I'm, a big journal person. I've been doing it most of my life, so that wasn't hard. But what I know that I was doing then that is different for me now is that I was essentially going through the motions, like writing, this list of all the things I'm grateful for. You want to come up? I'm grateful for Kenzie. Let's see. Come on, Sam, come on. Here's one of them. She's on my gratitude list, right? Yes. Oh, look at you. Okay, we have a guest appearance here. So yeah, writing out this list and really having it be like a checkbox, right? And going through the motions. Look at you. I am so grateful for you. Going through the motions, but not really feeling it. And the truth is, or was at that time, and while I am still a work in progress, at that time, or looking back, as I've evolved, I was disconnected from my feelings, whether it was gratitude, whether it was anger, whether it was, joy. Hang on a second. She needs to go get under the covers. Okay. We have our little routine. Sorry. So I was disconnected from my feelings, on all of my feelings, right? And that's why I wasn't feeling the gratitude when I wrote it. And this is another side note. And I know that I shouldn't say all, but most of the spiritual mentors and teachers I've worked with over the years, one of the biggest things that they talk about in terms of affecting, influencing your manifestation, right, and your vibration and all of that is your emotions, right? So, if you write it or you affirm it and say it, right, a word is our one, but you're not really feeling it, it's only going to have so much oomph to it, right? So much impact. And so that feeling part for me, at some point I noticed that I just wasn't feeling it. And I noticed that I wasn't really feeling a shift or noticing any results from doing the affirmations or the gratitude or, meditations or whatever, because I was so disconnected from my feelings. Okay, so the first hot tip that I want to share with you, and I'd love to know, if you can resonate with what I'm sharing, like, do you have a gratitude practice? If you feel like sharing, I'd love to know and what you do. And B, are you able to feel the gratitude when you do it? And, I'm a little, it's a little embarrassing. I'm being very transparent to share, this kind of the process or the evolution of my gratitude work, if you will. However, I'm sharing it with the hopes or intention that if it'll help someone out there, then obviously that's my intention, right? To be of service. So I'd love to know if you, have a practice, and B, if you really feel it, and if so, on a scale of 1 to 10, like, do you really, really, really feel it at a visceral level and in your heart when you are writing your list, or is it again sort of like just going through the motions? So I'd love to hear that for you and where you're at on the journey. And so what I want to share is a few tips to help you really deepen or strengthen your gratitude groove, to dig your ditches and really deepen that gratitude groove or muscle, if you will. Strengthen the muscle, deepen the groove. I think that makes more sense, right? So if you're already doing it, you feel it, and you want to take it to the next level, then stay with me, okay? So the first tip I'm going to give you is to actually, write down, your gratitude list. And I'm a big fan of really quality over quantity. Okay. I mean, it's funny. I have this, conversation with my significant other all the time, where I would rather have quality, gourmet, organic, natural high vibe foods. And I'd rather have a small amount of it than have, a large quantities of food that the quality is not so hot. Anyway, that's a whole other conversation. But point being, as it relates to this, is I think for me, I find it's more effective to actually maybe focus on the top 3 to 5, and the quality of the things that you are writing down on your gratitude list. Like, quality meaning, how can you really, really feel the gratitude for that thing, right? And so what you want to do is, and by the way, if you don't have a gratitude practice and you've been wanting to start one, then hopefully this will also inspire you as well. So what you want to do is focus on the the item that you're like. It's easier for me to just give an example. So let's just say we're giving an example. Like, for me, one of the things I'm always most grateful in my heart of hearts, besides Kenzie, is my animals, right? So for example, Indigo, my beloved dream horse come true. So why? The next thing you want to write down, like I might write, my horse, right? My dream horse come true. But then, dig a little deeper, right? Then ask yourself why you're grateful for that thing, right? And write down at least a couple, 2, 3 reasons why you're grateful for that thing. Like, for me, Indigo helps to ground my soul. And, I won't get into the story of him being my dream horse come true, but he really was. I mean, it was one of the most magical manifestation, experiences I ever had. The way it happened, and he truly is, is my dream horse come true. And so anyway, dig a little deeper, dig your ditch a little deeper, and ask yourself why you're grateful for that thing, and that will help you go deeper. Okay. The second tip that I want to give you, and it's kind of two, there's three, but the next two are kind of connected. So the second tip that I want to share with you, and I'm not recommending per se unless it resonates, always take what resonates and leave the rest, but it was something that is really, really crazy that I noticed took my gratitude and my feelings and my emotions at a visceral level to a whole new level. Most recently this year was that of playing with what I'm calling intuitive intermittent fasting, and what in a way that is right for me, that works for me. Okay. And so, I call it that because there's different ways to do it. And that's a whole other conversation. If you want to learn more about that, let me know down below as well. But what I found was when I started doing this within a couple weeks, even the first month of starting to play with this, not only was I feeling, physically feeling more energy and more clear and more vitality and all of that, but I was actually there was a cleansing process that was going on. There was a real deep purification. I was releasing and crying, and there was all this stuff that was leaving me, stuff that really was deep stuff that even though I'd worked on, in the past, it was a really, really, really deep layers. And as a result of that, I noticed that when I was doing my gratitude practice, I was actually feeling it in a deeper, more visceral way, if that makes sense. And that my feelings in general, I could feel them more deeper, right? I mean, just the cleansing, the purification, all of these different parts of the fasting. And so I bring this up not as something that I'm recommending unless you really want to supercharge your gratitude groove and your health and all the other things. That is definitely something to consider, but I would, do your research and follow your inner guidance in terms of what's right for you. But this brings me to the last point, which is kind of connected. The fasting is a physical and nutritional, right? But if you think about fasting from, for example, other things, so maybe it's taking a digital detox from our phone, right? Or the computer or TV, or maybe certain, relationships or connections, or maybe it's a certain habit, or whatever it is, right? If we take a break from something, if we fast, right, from that thing, then it's kind of just like when we don't have, when we go through a drought, right? We appreciate the rain when it rains finally, or if it's raining all the time, we appreciate the sun. So sometimes when we go without something, right? Sometimes it's in order to appreciate the sun, it needs to rain. And I'm not saying we have to go through that, but sometimes when we can take a break from something, or even someone, if there's a relationship, you're kind of right? When we take a break, when we fast, or pull away from something, it allows us to appreciate them or it or whatever that thing you're fasting from, again, food or otherwise, even more, right? And therefore feel the gratitude and the appreciation at a deeper level. So I hope this is making sense. In terms of really, the third tip would be not necessarily you could if you wanted to, but maybe just energetically feel into and imagine yourself without that thing. Okay. So, to stick with my example of indigo, my dream horse come true, right? If I can't even imagine, honestly, being without him, right? So, if you feel into and imagine being without whatever that thing is that's on your gratitude list, that also will help you deepen the gratitude groove, if you will. Okay. So those are the three tips. Just a quick recap. The first one is to ask why you're grateful for that and focus more. I think it's really helpful to focus on quality versus quantity instead of writing down 100 things. And I've done that too. I've played with the gratitude practice for years now in different ways. But really, the first tip is, if you're not doing one, I highly recommend you start one. And like I said, if you are, these steps will actually help you take it to the next level. So ask why, number one. The second one is the fasting piece in terms of, the two layers. It could be literally, playing with some intermittent fasting a couple days a week. It doesn't have to be a big thing. That's how I started out, right? And, it's amazing how, again, when you don't have something, you appreciate it more, right? So there's that intermittent fasting with food. Excuse me. And then there's the idea, the third tip, which is to imagine, yourself without that thing that you're grateful for, and then feel into that. And that will help you with the feelings of digging deeper in your gratitude groove. So I hope that you found this helpful. The last thing that I'm going to mention, partially, I wasn't actually planning to, but I'm so excited about it, and I'm going to get back to it here. But I have been working behind the scenes on a very special training series. It's sort of a self-paced 5-part video training for really increasing your confidence, being seen and or heard, and feeling safe. So I bring that up because, I was at one time a wallflower, and the fact that I not only am doing this channel, but I've done hundreds of Facebook Lives and Zoominar master classes and have other teaching experience, but I also had to work through a lot of fears around visibility and also expressing myself, and I'm always clearing my throat chakra, right? I had to work through a lot of that stuff, and I've helped many women also who were really had some issues around their visibility or authentic expression. I've helped them with that, and so because of that, that is one of my superpowers that I feel I am very qualified to assist you with. If you're someone who feels camera shy, if you want to go from being a wallflower to a sunflower, if you've been thinking about doing that Facebook Live or creating a YouTube channel, or making your first video, or maybe you have stage fright, or afraid of public speaking and you have an important event coming up where you need to do that. Maybe you've got a job interview or a hot date and you want to really show up. You're nervous and you want to show up as your best, most confident, empowered, magnetic self. If you would like to learn my personal secrets for really doing that, because honestly, with the level of fear that I had, and I'm not going to go into like the stories now, but deer in headlights level, at times, especially in certain situations, right? I really had to work through a lot of these issues, and I have collected and created some really powerful, highly effective hacks to really shift the energy powerfully in as little as a few minutes and even 30 seconds. So if this interests you, I'm going to just give you a heads up to stay tuned. When it's ready, I'll probably, since I did spill the beans here, like again, I wasn't planning to, but I will put the link down here as soon as it's ready. It's a very time sensitive Black Friday holiday pricing, sexy savvy special. So come back and check, and I will try to, now that I did this, I got to hold myself. I'll try to just, maybe do a quickie video on Friday, and just so we can get the links there and let you know the scoop. Hopefully it'll be ready by then. We're putting on the finishing touches. So anyway, I just had to share with you about it because it's really powerful, and I've put some of my best stuff together in it, and it's going to be really insane, no-brainer pricing. So again, if you are interested in that, or somebody who could use that, definitely stay tuned and be on the lookout. And like I said, because of the holiday, it'll be a really sweet deal. So If you are in the States, just want to again wish you a most beautiful, magical Thanksgiving holiday and beyond. And if you're not, thank you, happy, happy gratitude groove to you as well. Thank you for again being here and stopping by, showing up at whatever level. And thank you, by the way, on a final note, before I let you go, thank you for your support. It really helps my channel if you hit that like button, if you subscribe. And also, again, it helps you if you're enjoying and getting value out of these videos. It lets you know when I upload one. And excuse me, allows your energy to be part of the vortex. So, that being said, I love you. Ciao for now. Namaste.